welcome to Osseo Junior High for Section 5 4A boys basketball semifinal matchup tonight. The number 3 seed, the Wayzata Trojans, and the number 2 seed, the Maple Grove Crimson. I am Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. Ryan, in a lot of ways, I think a lot of people expected this matchup maybe next year. These teams are still pretty young, but awful good.
Yeah, very young. A lot of sophomores and juniors that play very important roles for both sides. I think it's a really evenly matched game. These two teams played earlier in the year in January. Maple Grove prevailed, but Wayzata had a double-digit lead with only about 5 minutes left. So both of these teams familiar with each other, but I think very talented, very even, trying to accomplish the same thing here tonight.
Wayzata's new to this section, and I said in a lot of ways they're kind of one of the best-kept secrets around. You don't hear a lot of talk about them, but a 20-win season, considering who they play, is pretty good. Yeah,
and you look at their conference record, it's not so great, but then you look at who their conference opponents are. They're in that grueling late conference with Hopkins, Minnetonka, Edina, and Eden Prairie, but they've had some very big wins on the year. They beat a very good St. Michael Albertville team earlier in the year. They played Maple Grove extremely tough. So, and you talk to their coaching staff, and they like that they're kind of an unkept secret right now because they feel like they have a lot to prove and that they're playing their best basketball right now.
Maple Grove, 2 of their 3 losses were to teams that were ranked number 1 at the time, so you know that they've played high-level competition and done well against it.
Well, we had that one of those games against Champlin Park on Channel 12. They were in control of that game for most of it. They beat Hopkins earlier in the year, so they can play with anyone. They got the talent, and even though they're young, they've experienced big moments already. They have a lot of athletes that have played at a high level in football. So they feel like they belong here, and not only do they feel like they can win tonight, but they feel like they can win this section and make a run in the state tournament.
Let's talk about key players in today's game, starting with Wayzata. Johnny Benninga is kind of a spark plug kind of guy for them.
He's so fun to watch, Jay, because he can score in a variety of ways. Averaging over 17 points, over 4 assists. He's got the ball in his hands a lot, but they use a lot of ball screens for him. He's a tremendous shooter, too. But I've never seen a kid with that quick of a first step. He can just slide. He gets to the rims just effortlessly. So very good inside-out player, and is really exciting to watch when he has the ball.
And for Maple Grove, we're going to talk about their talented sophomore, Taiwan Pickford. He's really stepped up and had a really nice year for this team.
And here's why he's so important. You could probably preview Brad Davis in every game that they play. He's going to have the ball in his hands. He makes so many of the decisions for them. But I think they're best when they have a second scorer on the perimeter that can play off of Brad Davis. And Brad does such a great job of recognizing double teams. If Pickford can take the ball, be aggressive, and get that 15 to 17 points a game, Maple Grove is really hard to beat.
All right, should be a great matchup. The winner will take on Champlin Park or Centennial in the section final Friday night at Rogers. Stay tuned, Wayzata and Maple Grove tip-off next.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
And welcome back here to Osseo Junior, kind of a venerable playoff spot. It's been a long time, but we have done a lot of boys and girls section finals here over the years and semifinals as well. New thing for these two teams, though, and of course, as many fans know, this became Maple Grove's home court after their high school gym had a pipe burst and damaged the floor during one of those real cold weekends we had back in January. So here's the starting lineup for the Trojans. Coach Brian Schnetler, Johnny Benninga, Kevin Baumgartner, Jack Sawada, Austin Slater, and Troy Lawaji. And for Nick Schroeder and the Crimson, Jack Hutchison, Brad Davis, and Taiwan Pickford. Coyote Awashika has been battling a shoulder injury, and Reed Nico.
Well, Coyote looks okay leading the pregame routine there as he was getting down and dirty, but I saw him taping his shoulder up before the game, and they were testing him out, and they got the clearance to give it a shot.
See, Maple Grove ended up winning by 8 the first time around, but by all accounts, that was a game Wayzata could have and maybe should have won. They had a double-digit lead with about 4 or 5 minutes to go, but Wayzata couldn't hold it. Maple Grove closed strong.
Well, Maple Grove's, they're 23-3 overall, Jay, 10-game winning streak, but I got the feeling, talking to Coach Schnettler before the game, that Wayzata feels very confident, and I think that's where it pays off, playing in that really tough lake conference, too. They've played some of the upper echelon teams in the state of Minnesota, and they've won a few of those games, so I think they're coming into tonight expecting to get a win.
Nico controls the tip. Maple Grove gets first possession as Brad Davison will bring it into the front court. Gavin Baumgartner getting the first assignment on him. First thing that Coach Schnettler said was we have to try our best to keep Davison out of the lane as a key for them. Into Nico, his pass stolen away.
Well, that's a matchup I want to keep an eye on. Nico versus Slater, both very big kids. Nico maybe got an inch of height advantage over him, but Austin Slater, offensively is more of a perimeter. He can shoot jump shots, he can shoot threes. He's going to force Nico to guard him out on the perimeter, which I think could open up driving lanes for Wayzata.
Trojans a very good shooting team. Little floater down the lane, and it is good. And Jack Sawada strikes first for Wayzata.
Well, he's 6'4". He's their second leading scorer, averaging just over 14 points. And they're going to need, Wayzata's got great balance offensively. 3 players over the average in double figures. And their guards can attack and penetrate, and they can make those mid-range shots.
And Davison knocks down a contested 3 for the Crimson as they get on the board.
That was a heck of an offensive shot, coming off the ball screen, a contested 3. That's a shot Wayzata I think will live with. They'd rather have him make those kind of shots than wide open looks.
Slater has it blocked by Nico. Here comes Davison to Hutchison in the baseline, short with that. And rebounded by Sawada as the Trojans push the tempo a little bit. Nuwaji dropping it back to Slater, tied up by Nico.
Wayzata had a 2-on-1. There's a look at Coach Brian Schnettler, who's done a heck of a job. He's in his first season, has this Wayzata team ranked number 3 going into the section tournament. But that was a 2-on-1 with Brad Davison back. You got to attack him, put pressure on him, maybe try to get him in early foul trouble. And maybe, Sawada knew what was coming. He got underneath out of bounds, and he's got 5 early points. A great start, a great sign for Trojan fans.
Davison with it out on the wing. Keeps the dribble alive, and his jumper is good.
That was just too easy. He took one hard dribble of the middle of the lane, stopped on a dime, able to create separation. And you can see, I think Maple Grove, when they're going to be at their best, he scores early, draws the attention of the defense, and then he becomes this dynamic playmaker later on in the games. But he's looking to be aggressive here early on.
Benninga pulling up, and it's way short. Slater saving it, and they'll get another crack at it. Nico a block. Again, they save it in barely. And Benninga will bring it out top.
Well, just great hustle. 2 times the ball was going out of bounds, able to save it. And Benninga, you can see him turn in the corner, and really athletic play by Pickford to reach in there and knock it away.
There's a look at Nick Schroeder, the Crimson head coach. Into Slater, and he'll let it fly. It's way too long as Nico got out on him a little bit.
Well, and those are always the nerves that you face early on in a game. Your first shot, it's a new gym, especially if you're Wayzata. Your nerves are going, you tend to overshoot it sometimes. And the bank is open late at night here on a Tuesday as Brad Davison banks it on from head on from 3-point land. He's got all 8 Maple Grove points to start the game.
Boy, he has looked for his shot early aggressively. Slater putting it on the deck, driving it at Nico, had it denied, goes again with it, missed it, but the layup is good by Baumgartner.
I'll tell you what, Slater, missed that, but his persistence, able to stay after it. He knocked it right over to Baumgartner, who lays it in for 2. And that's great. And interesting, too, Davison, all 3 of his makes have been jump shots. I think he's a better player when he's attacking the basket. Looks like Wayzata would rather give him jump shots. And when he's making those, that's when it can be a long night guarding them.
Drives at this time, miss. Pickford's putback will not count. We had a foul on the initial shot.
Yeah, good defense. You can see they're forcing him away from that high ball screen. He goes behind his back, able to just get a little separation, and I did not hear him call bank. But you know what? In a playoff game, you'll take it any way you can get it. But then so when he makes a couple early jumpers, you got to really get out and contest him. And he's smart enough and quick enough to go by you, and he's able to get to the basket. He's one of those rare players where, you know, I don't know if he has a weakness. You just got to make him work. You can't allow him to get easy points.
1 for 2 at the line here, so a 2-point Crimson lead. Slater with it at the top of the key. Now Luwaji coming out. Sawada's going to let it rip. This one not good. Tipped over to Awashika.
Yeah, nice job by Nico to tip that to his teammate. As Wayzata's had some early success. You can see they're forcing Davison to go left, away from that high ball screen, and he's just settling for those jump shots. I think Wayzata's going to have to change up how they're guarding that. At least force him to use that ball screen. You can't back off of him when he's hit 4 perimeter shots here to start the game, 3 threes.
Inside, and the shot missed there by Baumgartner. They'll get another crack, though, and Benega knocks it down.
And I like what Wayzata's doing. Baumgartner's attacking Davison on the offensive end. I think you got to make Brad play defense and guard you on one end of the floor. At least wear him out a little bit, make him work defensively.
Davison the miss that time. Benega trying to turn the corner, instead goes corner with it. And that's an air ball, but Hutchison knocks it out of bounds, as Baumgartner was too strong with it. Maple Grove a little bit of a struggle on the defensive glass so far.
And you see Baumgartner forcing Brad to go away from that high screen, but there's just too much space. And sometimes you got to change in-game defending. If a guy's hot and he's made a couple of threes, you got to take that extra step or two up, force him to drive the ball, or at least force him into that ball screen where you can get a double team on him.
Austin Matheson, 23, is in for Maple Grove. 24, Ryan Lindbergh in for Wayzata. So now Slater being defended by Awashika with Nico on the bench. Benega gets to the free throw line, stops and pops, won't go, but there's Sawada.
Well, I like Wayzata. I think Wayzata's a taller team, top to bottom, than Maple Grove, and they're pounding the offensive glass. And if the guy's not able to get it, they're at least tipping it, keeping it alive for a teammate to pick up, and really have done a nice job of keeping possessions going, getting second, third chance points.
Davison has been ultra aggressive shooting the ball so far. Got it over to Awashika, now Pickford. Pickford getting into the lane all the way around, but missed it, and Slater grabs the board.
Yeah, I don't know how Pickford was able to turn the corner. It looked like there was nothing there, and he did, and I think he surprised himself with how open he was. Just couldn't quite get the English off the backboard, the right spin to get that to go in.
Lindbergh dumping it into Slater. Little up and under with the left hand, too strong. He gets it back, though. Benega, long three-pointer, no good there, and Davison boards it.
Yeah, Slater, I like his aggressiveness, especially with Nico out of the game early, recognizing he's got the size advantage, just unable to take advantage of it. And there's the flip side of Brad. You close that jump shot down. He's got such a quick first step, great body control, able to get all the way to the basket. You got to love how he's come out here and decided, hey, I'm going to take this game over offensively.
He has all 14 points for Maple Grove. Sawada, nice up and under, goes to the hoop and scores, and he's had a great start as well, as he has 9 quick points for Wayzata.
Yeah, and I like how, did you see his body control there, Jay? There was a defender there, he able to slice right around him to avoid a possible charge and finish at the rim. That was a heck of a move.
Davison dumping it off baseline, and Hutchison was fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Wasn't a lot of room, but he stuck it in there.
No, and that's the hard part, too, on defense. You know, Brad Davison has all 14 of the points here for Maple Grove. So as a defender, if you're not guarding him, you start watching him, and you start forgetting about your guy, and that's why your Coach Schroeder's constantly preaching to these guys, get open, get in positions where you can be effective, where you can score. And that was just a heads up by Hutchison to go back door. He saw his defender falling asleep, able to go back door, and that's Davison is unselfish enough where he'll get it to you.
Ty Galinsky, number 23, coming in for Wayzata, one of their captains. And Hutchison knocks down a pair, so he is the first non-Davison to score, and it's 16-13 Grove. Tipped and stolen by Davison. Davison's going to go all the way in attack, and he's going to score it again. Wow, has he had a great start.
Yeah, just played the passing lane there. Benninga, they're trying to get the ball back to him, and Brad just jumped ahead of it, and that's when you're feeling it, when you're in that zone, sometimes everything seems to be clicking, and you, as a Wayzata Trojan, you just hope that that zone ends early.
Out to Lawaji, and his jumper is good. Nico jumped over to help out on the drive and left his guy with a little bit of space, and Lawaji able to knock it down.
Well, he's another guy, 6'5", kind of that forward 3/4, but able to knock perimeter shots down. Wayzata just has so many good shooters.
Galinsky getting his turn to defend Davison, got him to pick up the ball, and that's kind of a victory based on how things have gone so far.
Well, I like how they defended that ball screen a little bit differently. Oh,
Hutchison
nice
not able to get it. Here comes Benninga pushing for Wayzata. Kicks it over for an open look. Sawada faked it to get Nico out of the way and then nails a three.
Now, is he off to a great start? Is that 12 early points for Sawada? And it's kind of been the Davison versus Sawada here early on. And that was a big shot. That ties the game up. As well as Brad Davison has played, Maple Grove finds himself tied early.
Nico able to squeeze down the baseline and get that shot around Lawaji and in for his first bucket.
Well, with Slater out of the game, Lawaji's going to be guarding Nico. Lawaji's 6'5", which is still good size, but Nico just about 3 or 4 inches taller and maybe 20, 30 pounds heavier. He's got to fight for that position.
Sawada this time in and out, so he's human. He can miss. Pickford with it out high, gives it back to Davison. Matheson dumping it into Nico. Turns off the glass, it spins out.
That was a good move. He lost his footwork, and he was fading away that time from Lawaji. And that's where Reed Nico, as he understands how valuable he is offensively, he's got to have his body, his height, going towards the basket. He has the size and the strength matchup there.
Lindbergh burying a three for Wayzata. We told you they have shooters, and they take the lead, 21-20.
Yeah, Lindbergh, he's averaging over almost 7.5 a game, so he's a capable scorer. And I love how he caught that. He was ready to attack, shot fake right into his jump shot, and knocks it down. That's when Wayzata's playing their best, when they got all their guys knocking down perimeter jump shots. They're driving and kicking. They become hard to guard.
Lindbergh will be called for the hold as Davison put it on the court.
You see that nice shot fake, just side dribble one way to get some space and knocks down the three. And that gives Wayzata a 1-point lead with 8:05 remaining in the first half.
Mitch Reckstead coming in here for Maple Grove. Davison losing the handle a little bit, gets it back. And then knocked away, and a foul call on Davison. And the Wayzata fans love that.
Well, and you can see Wayzata's defending Davison a little bit different now. They're forcing him to use that ball screen. They're not backing off of him. They're pressuring him. And as soon as he turns their back, another defender's coming from behind. Brad's got to know that that second defender's coming over.
Lindbergh gets a little screen, and he hits another. And a timeout requested by Nick Schroeder. Wayzata coming back hard after Maple Grove had built a lead. 24-20 Trojans.
Well, and it was a nice play call. It was a little fade screen for Lindbergh. He passed it, got a back door, and just faded right over the top, right into an easy look. Coach Schroeder is obviously going to tell his guys, listen, they can shoot the ball, they can knock open jump shots. You cannot fall asleep, and you got to communicate. That's either got to be a switch between those defenders, or you got to fight over the top of that. You just can't let Ryan Lindbergh get an uncontested three-point shot.
So look, really no upsets to speak of here in the Section 5 tournament so far. Centennial beat Osseo in OT in the quarterfinals. Champlain Park at home against Centennial tonight. And then this one in the winter Friday night. You can see it live on Channel 12 and 12.tv from Rogers High School. So look at the rankings coming in here. End of the regular season, Champlain Park. Perfect 27-0, Apple Valley now, and then Maple Grove. This team has gotten a lot of respect. I mean, as we said, they've played a good schedule and beaten a lot of good teams, and they deserve to be up there. But Wayzata right now saying, we don't care about that. We're up 4 in this game, and and we think we can win.
No, and again, this Wayzata team, I mean, they beat St. Michael Albertville, who's got a very good team this year. They beat Edina, they beat Minnetonka. They lost a couple of close games to Hopkins and to Eden Prairie, so they've played against some of the best competition this state has to offer, and they've held their own. And I know they came into this game feeling like they could win this game and felt like they maybe should have won the game in January that they lost.
Rexted giving it back to Davison. Galinsky has been much more aggressive than the other defenders on him. Tried to dump it down low to Awashika, and then Davison was knocked down. And I don't think Wayzata really is going to mind that one, though.
No, that's hustle. Galinsky all over Davison, and that's where you get trouble when you leave your feet right there, and Brad's fortunate to get that ball tipped back to him. But I think, if nothing else, Jay, they've switched up how they're guarding him, and right now it's working. It's gotten Brad Davison out of his rhythm that he was in to start the basketball game.
Slater and Nico going chest to chest. The official telling them, be careful there. Oh, and Nico just couldn't quite drop it in on the lob.
Yeah, heads up pass. That's a great out of bounds play. You throw it up, let your 6'9" guy go up where no one else can go and get that. And an easy make right there, but unfortunately just rimmed out for Nico.
Galinsky with it out on the edge. Now Slater. Here's Lindbergh putting it on the deck against the smaller Rexted. And Nico could have blocked that one with his forehead.
Yeah, Rexted did a nice job. It looked to me that Lindbergh was going to maybe draw the foul on Rexted here and then just kind of threw it up. But a great job of Rexted knowing that you got your big fella coming over to clean that up. You don't need to reach with that. Remember when I used to play summer basketball with Joel Prisbilla, we used to get in trouble if we fouled as the guy was going to the basket because we knew we had the shot blocker coming from behind.
Slater missed it, but Awashika will be called for the hold. He had a hold of Alex Jensen, number 11, on that rebound. Slater inbounding here. Wayzata leading at 24-20, a little under 7 minutes to play here in the first half from Osseo Junior High.
You know, you can see, too, watching at home, how well Wayzata spaces the floor. They're constantly moving, they're constantly cutting. And that's so tough to defend because you get lanes like that.
Oh, and Nico swats the Watto shot. Pickford, a little pull-up, too strong.
I'll tell you, there seems to be a lid put on now on that basket for Maple Grove after such a incredibly hot start. They can't get anything to fall the last few possessions.
Yeah, to a degree, they're probably fortunate they're only down 4 here. Well, Wayzata, their pace has slowed a little bit too.
Well, Wayzata did a nice job of weathering that early start for Maple Grove. The way they shot the ball, the way Brad Davison caught fire to not be down big. They did a nice job matching baskets. And defensively, I like how they've changed it up guarding Maple Grove.
Galinsky's going to step up and shoot a 3, and he hits.
I'll tell you, he's one of their captains. That confidence, he's not a big scorer, averaging under 3 points. But when you play great defense on one side of the floor, it'll lead to great offense. And that's something that young players have to understand. You play hard defensively, you do the right things defensively, you're going to get confidence, and you're going to get shots like that to start falling. That's a big-time shot. I
had a chance to talk to Tyrell early in the season. Boy, he was just really enthusiastic about the possibilities for this team. Rexted finally breaks the drought for Maple Grove, and they pull back within 5.
And that's the one downfall of having a superstar on your team is a lot of times you get complacent. You expect him to do everything for you. And I think right now Maple Grove needs Rexted and some others to step up and make some plays offensively.
Pickford climbs the ladder and takes that rebound away out of in traffic. Davison gets a screen from Awashika and hits.
Well, how would you like having Awashika setting that big screen for you, that big body? He hammered Galinsky right there, and Davison able to turn the corner. Someone's got to step up and at least contest that shot. That's a shot Brad will make 9 out of 10 times uncontested from 10 feet.
Tip by Pickford and couldn't quite save it.
And actually, I could be wrong, Jay, but that was right in front of us. I didn't think Pickford, I thought that was going to be out on Wayzata. Well, here's the take a look. You can see, look at that ball screen. Able to turn the corner. And that's something, yeah, Iwasaka's got to be careful of setting that shoulder a little bit. Referees love to call that. But if he can get contact like that and allow Brad to turn the corner, that's when he becomes really dangerous in that high ball screen.
Under 4 to play now, first half. Wayzata by 3. Maple Grove had the early lead. A red-hot start for Brad Davison. Jack Sawada almost as good for Wayzata. And here is Sawada burying another 3.
Yeah, and he's feeling it. He's got a big grin on his face. And you know you're feeling and you're in that zone when you can come off a dribble handoff like that, just knowing that you're going to knock down that 3. And then Brad Davison says, let's not forget our one-on-one duel here. Whatever you can do, I can maybe do better, as he gets all the way to the rim. And just for an added excitement, makes it a tough reverse. Beautiful move.
Sawada this time inside. Nico blocked it. Slater gets it back, and then a foul, and Slater will shoot free throws.
Yeah, you can see Wayzata, they're just active right now offensively. Look at Sawada come right off that dribble handoff. Didn't even look at the basket, just feeling it. And he knocks down yet another 3. Davison answers on one end, and then I like how Wayzata just keeping that ball going. They're battling for offensive rebounds, and Slater gets rewarded with a foul. It's been a pretty clean game for the most part. The tempo and the amount of points, you know, very few fouls, only 7 total team fouls.
I was going to say, they've really let them play, and I think Nico's got to welcome that. He's had probably 4 or 5 blocks already, and to be honest, in some games, a couple of them might have been called fouls, but they've called what needs to be called, I think.
I think if you asked either coach, all they ask is consistency. If it's going to be called a certain way, do that on every play, and so far they've done that.
Pickford denied on the baseline as he cut and got the pass from Davison, as Slater was there to stand tall.
And here's that same play again. Brad Davison drives, unselfish. Pickford does a great job attacking the basket, and there's Slater, his 6'8" body, protecting his rim.
Davison shooting again, making again. Wow, as he had a great game.
Well, that time, I mean, you can't defend that any better. Defender was up right in his face, contesting that shot. He's just feeling it right now, and sometimes great players just play great offense.
Sawada looked like he was going to have a layup, but Davison got back in and raked it away. Davison already has 23 of the 29 Maple Grove points.
Well, and you can see Baumgartner's guarding him, and he's backing up about an extra step too much. I think the way he's shooting the basketball, normally I would say make Brad Davison a shooter, but when he's feeling it like this, I think you've got to get up on him, make it uncomfortable, double team him, just try to get the ball out of his hands.
Slater lost it. I think Wayzata fans felt he was fouled, and then he fell into the legs of Pickford and tripped him up. So a foul on Austin Slater of Wayzata. It will be Crimson basketball in the backcourt. They are down by 2. You
can see Wayzata coach is yelling 2 out. What that's going to be is it's going to be a double off that high ball screen. They're going to try to change up the way they're playing defense against Brad Davison.
Pickford kind of settled for one there, and Benninga grabs a rebound for the Trojans. Sawada dishing baseline, and he fades back out, and he's open for 3, but not this time. And we get a foul call on Pickford.
Yeah, that time, great offense by Wayzata. You see their driving kick ability. And that time, Sawada was backpedaling to the three-point line. I don't think he ever got his feet set. He rushed that 3 just a little bit, as he knew it right as he released it, that it wasn't going to go.
Slater kicking it right back out. Now he gets it again, looking to attack on Awashika. Scores it and 1.
Well, that's a big-time bucket by Austin Slater. Look at his footwork here. He reposts again. Look at that, fakes it left, comes back to his right, able to take the contact. And I think, you know, both big guys are sensing when the other big guy's out that they're going to have a significant size advantage, and both teams doing a nice job of recognizing that and going down to their big guys in the post. But a big-time bucket by Austin Slater, only a junior, hasn't been playing basketball. I think Coach told us this is his first year of playing organized basketball.
No, first year varsity.
First year of varsity.
Yep. 5-point lead now. Awashika sits with 2 fouls for the Crimson, but not bad when you bring Nico off the bench to replace him. Davison missed but was fouled and will shoot 2.
Yeah, he's frustrated because he knows that wasn't a big-time foul. It didn't really affect that shot. That's a shot he's been making all night long. Could have had a three-point play.
Galinsky picks up his second.
What's surprising to me, Jay, is when he does turn the corner, there doesn't seem to be any help defender there. It's this huge space of open looks for him. You know, and again, with as well as he shot the basketball tonight, I'm going to guess Wayzata's got to change something up of how they're defending Brad Davison.
On the flip side, though, they do have the lead, and they've, for the most part, limited the other guys who are sometimes, you know, fairly key weapons like Pickford.
I always thought when I played and when I coached is if you could take away the other teams, if they had a superstar, you know, a guy that is that big of their offense, you take him away or make it really hard on him, force someone else to step up and beat you. That's what the goal is. And tonight, it's really been the flip of that. They've taken everyone else away and let Brad Davison really just have really anything he wants to get tonight.
Lindbergh the miss. Crimson to the front court. Davison foul. That's going to be number 3 on Galinsky.
Well, basketball is a game of chess. You know, you do something and then the other team adjusts and then you readjust. And when Galinsky came in, he defended Brad Davison a little bit differently and it frustrated him for a few possessions. And now it's back to Brad Davison who's attacking Galinsky, and that's 3 fouls. Galinsky going to take a seat. And no, that's not a misprint on the bottom of our screen. He's got 26 first half points as he's just been absolutely brilliant on the offensive side of the ball tonight.
Chance to pull the Crimson within 1 here with a make. Davison's been sick this week and doesn't look like it at all tonight. Well, he's maybe Michael Jordan-like when he had the illness in the
whatever
NBA
illness
finals.
he's got, I'm sure Coach Schroeder is going to say, well, we need you to be sick like this more often.
Won't go there. Davison rebounding Baumgartner's miss. Chance for Maple Grove to retake the lead as we approach a minute to go in the first half. They had the lead for the early part of the half, but Wayzata has been in control for the last 8 to 10 minutes. Davison drive. Oh, we get an offensive foul against Nico, an illegal screen.
Yeah, and I think that seed was planted a while back when Awasika set that high ball screen. You know, Wayzata coaches were arguing that was a moving ball screen. And, you know, that's one of the things when Maple Grove, a big part of their offense, they run high ball screens with Brad Davison. And as a big guy setting that screen, you've got to hold your body. And Brad's got to do a great job of setting his man up so he can use that screen correctly.
Sawada down the baseline, reverse layup is good, not just a jump shooter.
No, and great patience. You see he started to attack, slow down, change his speeds a little bit there, did an excellent job of seeing what was open and taking what the defense gave him.
15 to go in the half. Maple Grove down 3, Pickford back out. Davison wants that ball back in his hands, time winding down, 5 seconds. He's going to let a long one fly. That one short. Nico's putback no good. And we have come to halftime, and the Trojans playing a solid first half. Despite the heroics of Brad Davison, our score is Wayzata 36, Maple Grove 33. We'll have first half highlights and more here from Osseo Junior High on 12 Sports. Welcome back here to Osseo Junior High. We are at halftime of the Section 5 4A semifinal matchup between the number 3 seed Wayzata, number 2 seed Maple Grove. And here's some first half highlights. You're going to see a lot of that guy, number 34 in black. An unbelievable first half for Brad Davison. He has been the story, certainly, for the Crimson.
Well, 27 out of their 33 points, and he did a lot of it from the outside. And there's another hero of that first half, Jack Sawada for Wayzata. And here, I mean, look at that shot. You know you're feeling it when you bank one from about 24 feet straight on. And you can see Wayzata's plan was to make him shoot. They were letting him get some space there, and he took advantage of it, knocked it down.
I think in a lot of ways, I don't, like you said, I don't disagree with that strategy, but he just showed that he is also a very good jump shooter.
He's versatile, and he's worked on it. He can score in such a variety of ways. Ryan Lindbergh, I thought, provided a great spark off the bench, too. Only a sophomore. Hit a couple of threes, and here they are off the bench, and that really is when Wayzata got the lead here. Here's a look at this block. Reed Nico could have blocked that with his forehead. He was up there so high. And a second block, too. And that's what he brings to the table, is that shot blocking ability. And then Galinsky, who really had great defense there for a few minutes in the first half, on Davison, knocks down a three, and yet another Jack Zawada three-pointer. He had 17 in the first half, as he was very, very huge. And look at this, contested three-point shot. Sometimes you're just feeling it, and I always remember my coaches tell me great offense sometimes just beats great defense.
Sawada, 17, easily leading the Trojans, and you see Davison with a phenomenal first half, but they're going to need more from some others in this second half. The Trojans lead the Crimson by 3. We will come back with our second half here from Osseo Junior High on 12 Sports.
So, I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
We are set for the second half of basketball here as the Trojans carry a 3-point lead into this half. Maple Grove will inbound. Didn't mention it earlier, but I don't think it's a secret. Please ignore my voice tonight. Got hit by the cold bug. But great game, fun game to be a part of, and we'll see how things go in the second half. It was a Davison and Sawada show the first half. We'll see who else can step up for these teams.
Yeah, and I expect Pickford to have a big game, big second half here. Someone from Maple Grove has to get the scoring going, being aggressive, take some of that pressure off of Brad Davison. And what they'll find, too, is that it'll actually free Brad up for some easier looks. Defense won't be so focused on him.
Nichols called for the travel as he was expecting pressure from Slater, and he leaned toward him, and Slater kind of backed away, and it got him off balance.
I always think Reed Nichols' best offense is when he makes a quick decision, a simple move where he can catch it, take one dribble, go the other way, and shoot over like a jump hook where no one can guard that. He's so long and tall. But I think he's got to be quick and efficient when he makes a move.
To the corner for Slater, and that's good for 3. Slater didn't shoot the ball real well in the first half, but he stays confident and drills that one. It's a 6-point lead for Wayzata.
Well, not only is that a big 3, but it's also big because it pulls Nico out of the lane and just is going to open up more things, more driving lanes for Wayzata as the half goes along.
Davison to Nico, scores and one. Nice job taking the contact and finishing through Slater's foul.
Yeah, and that's Maple Grove's game, and that's Brad Davison making a great decision. He draws Slater, able to dump it off, and again, there's Nico making a quick decision with the ball. No hesitation, just going right at the rim, showing his strength. And that's just a big-time basketball move and a big-time answer for Maple Grove.
Not able to finish it with a free throw, though, so it stays a 4-point game as Benega comes into the front court. And out top, we have Slater being called for a push-off on Nico as those two were locked up a long way away from the basket. And I think Slater, or Nico might have been a little bit fortunate there. He was trying to hold Nico, or hold Slater as he started to go. Yeah, they're just kind of an unnecessary foul for either guy that would get it there.
It's got to be a no call. In the playoffs, you let that one go, especially the way the refs, I think, have done a really nice job of letting some of those plays slide. Instead, Slater's going to sit with three fouls here early in the second half, and I think that's a huge disadvantage for Wayzata.
Davison down the lane, Luwaji fouled him. He'll shoot.
You know, at first I was going to say that looked like a pretty clean play. That was right in front of us, Jay. I saw a hand go right into his face, some contact there. And again, we talk about it all year long. as an offensive player, you attack the basket like that, you put pressure on the referees. More often than not, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Davison invites contact. He's not, a lot of guys shy away from it, and he is the opposite.
Yeah, we were, you know, Coach Snetler said before the game he does a great job of drawing fouls, and he's just a smart basketball player.
And he makes a pair here, so they're within 2. Here's Benning on the drive, rolls out.
Well, and you see that's one thing so far tonight. Johnny Benninga, who is their leading scorer, over 17 points a game, just has not been able to get it going tonight. Knocked down a couple of mid-range jump shots in the first half, but unable to get all the way to the basket.
Davison got in close, but couldn't finish. Sawada had it taken away. Nico trying to go up. He wanted to dunk that one, and Sawada only called for the foul. It was right in front of the Wayzata students, and they couldn't believe it that there wasn't a foul called on the steal.
Well, I think the problem here is Sawada, see, it puts the ball up high like that where you don't have your strength. You got to chin that basketball, and you use your elbows to get guys off you. Instead, Reed Nico, who's a big, strong kid, able to just rip it away. And actually a smart foul by Sawada. Instead of giving up the layup or the dunk, and this crowd would have exploded, you send Nico to the line where he's struggled here tonight at the free throw line. And not a great free throw shooter on the year.
Shooting right into the Wayzata student section here. His second one is good. So a 1-point ball game here as the Trojans hit the front court with the lead. Across to Benning, who's been pretty quiet here. He's been content to be mostly a distributor. Lindbergh whipping it down to the corner. Sawada thought about it. Benning driving and gets it to drop. Nice move on the layup.
It was. I was just going to say I didn't like his angle, but he was able to get his arm around and put a little spin on that, just the right amount to able to finish. That's a good sign if you're Wayzata, too.
Offensive foul on Davison. That'll be his second.
Well, that's one way to slow down a great offensive player is if they leave their feet at the basket, you slide underneath and take a charge. Not only is that his second foul for Brad Davison, but it might make him think twice about attacking the basket again. Very heads-up play by Wayzata.
Benning high off the window and good. He knew the shot blocker was coming.
Well, he threw it up and had no regard for his body. He took contact. Reed Nicholl came over like a fly swatter, but he was unable to get it.
Hutchison missing, but he was fouled. So Jack Hutchison, the sophomore, been pretty quiet tonight. A couple of free throws, but he'll get an opportunity here.
He's a great shooter. He's averaging under 9 points. A lot of those come from the three-point line, and expect him, to be normally a very sure-handed free throw shooter.
Second free throw is good for Hutchison, so a free throw make pulls him within 4. Here's Benninga turning the corner, and wide open is Baumgartner, and that's good for 3.
Well, that's why he's at a Trojan basketball. Benninga turns the corner where he's just attacked twice, had some easy layups. Maple Grove does a nice job of helping and unable to see it, but Gavin Baumgartner wide open in the corner. Great pass by Benninga and a big-time 3 by Baumgartner.
Maple Grove on the ropes a little bit here. We're very early in the second half, but they're down 7, and then the ball loose. Who hit it last? It's going to stay with Maple Grove. Looked like maybe Davison's hand was the last one to push that one forward.
It definitely was. That was right in front of us, Jay. Here's that driving kick. Look at Benninga keeping his eyes up, drawing the double team, finds Baumgartner in a big-time shot. Yeah, Maple Grove lucky to keep the ball there. That was off of Brad Davison.
Here's the lob for Nico, and he catches and then goes up for the dunk. Somebody got in the way initially, but he did a smart thing there. Came down with it and then gathered himself to go up.
Well, in playoff basketball, where every possession is so big, rather than try to dunk that and risk missing it, smart job by Nico just to come down with it, gather himself, still gets a big dunk.
Lindbergh stops and fires, no good, and Hutchison runs that one down. Maple Grove down 5 and a chance to cut it a little further. Davison's going to let it rip. Not quite as hot in this half. Pickford poking it out of bounds. It'll be Wayzata basketball.
Yeah, and again, other than his miraculous first half, I think if you were defending him, that's a shot you'll live with. A contested three, with no one else touching the basketball. I think Brad's got to get himself going by getting to the basket again, getting others involved, and then he'll see everything else open up.
Galinsky back in there for Wayzata now. Benninga, little floater, and it bounces and drops. He has started to heat up in a big way. 3 buckets here in the second half.
Yeah, it wasn't big offensively in the first half, but he's just coming out. He's attacking hard. As soon as he catches it, he's going right to the basket.
Pickford down the baseline, tried to give it to Nico, but missed him, and Benninga up with it. Benninga going all the way for 2 more. Timeout Crimson. 9-point lead for Wayzata.
Well, how about Johnny Benninga, Jay? 8 quick points. We're not even 5 minutes into the second half. And you can see he's coming off screens and he's looking to attack. And he's had a number of baskets, so a nice little runner there. Here he is in full court. Just attacks the rim, and he's got great body control, able to finish with spins and finger rolls. And I'll tell you what, Wayzata came out here in the second half sharp, extend this lead to 9 points.
And they're a team that's pretty unselfish. Benninga's been their leading scorer this year, but obviously they got some other guys that can do it, and they're willing to share the ball a little bit. And Maple Grove, I think, throughout the year has been a little more like that. But tonight it's been either Brad Davison or not a lot else, happening for them offensively.
Well, you got 2 things that are working tonight. One is Wayzata is primarily a jump shooting team, and that can be great when you're hitting it, but it also can allow teams to get back in the game because it's hard to sustain that kind of success from the perimeter. On the flip side, we talked at halftime. Brad obviously had a huge first half, 27 points. I think they're best. I think Taiwan Pickford needs to get involved. I think they need to find Matheson. They need to get Martinson, Hutchison. Someone else has to step up, take a little bit of the pressure off of Brad for a few minutes, and what it'll do is just open the game up for him, make it easier for him to attack. When he's attacking right now, there's 5 Wayzata Trojans waiting for him, and it's forcing him to have to take and potentially make really hard shots, which he can do.
Davison trying to go baseline, turned it over. Sawada up with the steal. Wayzata playing very confident ball right now, leading it by 9. Lindbergh giving it to Benninga. Luagi had it jabbed away, gets it back though. Sawada picks it up. Luagi will hand it back to him, but you can see they've said get up on him as Matheson jumping out on Sawada every time.
Yeah, nice patience by the Trojans. Good defense too by the Crimson, making Wayzata work. But I like that Wayzata's not panicking. They're not playing fast. And they're taking care of the basketball.
Sawada gets an open look, but won't drop, and Pickford out of there with it.
Great offense. I think that's a shot that Sawada's been knocking down all night.
Sawada getting a block there, saved by Galinsky, and Wayzata gets it right back. Benninga, a little hesitation, gives it to Lindbergh, and now Galinsky.
How about this, Jay? I didn't realize this, but Wayzata does not have a senior on the team.
Lindbergh wide left with that one, and Pickford rebounds. Yeah, they did not keep any seniors this season.
Well, and you can see this is where shooting jump shots, if you don't have people that can get it to the basket, you can go cold in a hurry, as Wayzata's missed the last few jump shot opportunities. And there, I like, again, they're getting someone else, Hutchison that time, off the dribble penetration from Davison, able to draw the foul. And he's got to execute here and make 2 free throws. There's the drive. And that's where, if you get a guy to leave his feet, Benninga's got to stay home there and not allow Davison an outlet to get rid of that ball.
4th foul on Galinsky as Hutchison sinks a free throw. So Galinsky will check out. Baumgartner comes back in for Wayzata. And also Alex Jensen, number 11. Awashika back in for the Crimson. Hutchison makes a pair, so every little bit counts when you're trying to come back. They're within 7. Benega being hounded by Tim Bishop, and it'll be a foul on Bishop.
Well, Bishop averaging just over 2 points. He's a senior captain, doesn't play a ton of minutes, but you can see he's in there defensively to make life hard for Johnny Benega.
Benega is fouled. He started to make the pass. I think it's going to be Bishop again.
That's always hard too when you've sat the whole game and you got to come in and guard an explosive player like Benega. But Bishop doing a nice job moving his feet. He's just got to play without getting those hands caught in the cookie jar there. A little contact.
Davison D'ing up, nice behind the back move, but then a turnover. Davison bringing it back. Crimson down 7. Little hesitation, gives it to Awashika, and he missed the reverse. And Slater will wind up with it.
Great pass. Awashika that time, I think, had a regular layup. Instead, he tried to shoot the reverse, made it a little bit more difficult than he maybe needed to. And off the offensive rebound, Austin Slater with Reed Nickel on the bench, taking advantage of his height and finishing at the rim on the offensive rebound. Heads up play, Austin Slater.
Back to a 9-point game. Here's Davison attacking, trying to draw the foul, didn't get it.
You know, and this is where Wayzata's got to be patient. Take what the defense gives you, drive and kick. They get an open look.
Follow up by Jensen, too strong, and then the layup good by Baumgartner.
Baumgartner, after airballing the 3, and another airball second chance opportunity, able to, look at this possession. Oh, he didn't airball, that got rimmed, but here's an airball. Maybe they were playing back and forth with each other, able to catch the miss in the air, take the contact, and Gavin Baumgartner going to the line for a 3-point play. What a possession for Wayzata.
Boy, plays like that make you start to feel like maybe it's your night.
It's your night. I mean, 2 pretty poor shots, and still you end up with a 3-point play out of it.
Sawada will come back in here for the Trojans.
You know, this is where Coach Schroeder and Maple Grove, you know, they were down big to Wayzata in the previous game. Earlier in the year, we talked about it. 11-point lead for Wayzata with under 5 minutes. If you're Maple Grove, you just got to play possession by possession. You don't need to get it all back. There's no 13-point play that can give you the lead.
Nico double teamed, trying to find some room, and he scores.
I love what he did there. He stayed with it. He knew he had the size. He had position, took the double team, kept the ball up high, and just elevated where no one else could defend him. That's a big-time play. And I think Maple Grove needs to play a little inside out.
Benega driving, but then gave it away. Nico to steal. Davison, corner, Hutchison, no good. Kept alive by Nico though. Davison gets it back. Davison is fouled by Jensen.
Well, how about Reed Nico? I think he's taken over this game. Just had a bucket, a great steal defensively there. He keeps that ball alive. And Brad Davison, that's just a heads-up play. He felt the contact, knew a foul was going to be called, able to at least get a motion up so he can get to the free throw line.
Free throw is good. Davison much quieter second half than first, but he still has 30 points. It's a 9-point game, 55-46.
Well, you know you're a heck of a player if you've had a quiet half and you still have 30 points with 9:20 remaining in the game.
Second one also good, so they are to within 7 now, 55-47, or excuse me, within 8. Sawada. Baumgartner gives it back to Luwaji. Important for Wayzata here not to get too passive, I think. And there's a steal by Davison. Davison will go all the way, and somewhat of a dunk there. Scrapes it in over the rim. 6-point game.
Well, you can tell Maple Grove picked the intensity up defensively, and they're fired up. The last few times down the floor, able to get a couple of big stops, a couple of steals. and convert on the other end. And here's Brad Davison. Look at him playing the passing lane. You could see when he started timing his steps that he wanted to dunk that. Only a sophomore. I'm guessing next year he'll get a couple of big throwdowns. But when you're in a playoff game and you need every basket, you don't risk missing a dunk. Get the basket. But really, I mean, what's changed in the last couple minutes, I think it's just been the effort from Maple Grove defensively. They're moving their feet. They're not allowing guys to get open looks. Reed Nichols getting his hands on a lot of balls. He's been active. You know, and they're going to need that kind of effort. They're 2 possessions down right now, so they've done a nice job of fighting back. And if you're Wayzata, to your point, Jay, you play the way you play. Don't get passive now where you're not used to that. They got to stay aggressive. Get Bendigo attacking the basket again. Get those shooters out wide so there's good space, and I think that's when the Trojans are hard to guard.
Champlain Park not having an easy time in their semifinal. It sounds like actually trailed at halftime, but as we understand it, have taken a 7-point lead. Centennial, one of the 3 teams to beat Maple Grove this year, so they obviously are capable on the night of doing so. Bishop has already picked up 3 fouls, but he's out there to harass Benninga, much like Galinsky was out there to harass Davison. Inside, Baumgartner switches to the left hand and gets the layup. Nice hoop.
Yeah, great offense out of the timeout there. They ran a little flex screen, a baseline screen. And I think that was Baumgartner that came off with Davison trailing. A nice job by Baumgartner just turning and catching. That's a big bucket out of the timeout. This is where Pickford's got to be aggressive, getting to the basket.
Grazed the side of the glass with that one. It's still got the rim, but not able to get it to drop. Benninga. 8-point lead with just about 8 minutes to go. Slater caught Nickel with his elbow inadvertently there, but then they throw it away. And it will be Crimson basketball. Hard to say if they just didn't see that or felt there wasn't enough there. It could have been, I guess, a foul either way. Nico was up crowding, and then the elbow clipped him a little bit. So Maple Grove down by 8. Davison looking to attack. Steps back, fires, and hits.
That's good defense. That's a tough shot. Just great offense. As he hits a step-back jump shot. Beautiful looking move.
Benninga kicks it across. Baumgartner shot fake and then was fouled by Nico. Arrived late and hit him on the arm. Good call. And a pretty good look straight down that sideline. And so look at Davison's last hoop.
Yeah, I mean, you can't defend that any better. You driving full steam like that to stop, cross it between your legs, and then be able to elevate and get that shot off. That's great offense. And again, Wayzata doing what they do, driving and kicking. And I'll tell you, Baumgartner only a sophomore and only averaging about 7 points a game. So I think he's really stepped it up here tonight and had a big game offensively for Wayzata.
And very intimidating shooting background for either team when they're shooting into the other team's student section, but it doesn't seem to bother him. Baumgartner knocks down a pair of the leads back to 8.
You can see Wayzata switching here to a 2-3 zone, trying to maybe just change the pace a little bit on Maple Grove. See if it can slow them down, as they've had pretty good rhythm here. Oh, and that's what they do. They run that play at least once or twice a game with Brad Davison keeping his head up. There's a baseline screen, and Reed Nico just goes up above the square and throws it down. A big alley-oop, big play.
Back to 6. Just when I was about to say I think this zone's a good idea, then you see that happen. Yeah. Sawada. Tip by Pickford, but he got it back. Sawada off the glass and good. Tough shot.
That's a momentum breaker for Maple Grove. Great defense. He just had a big alley-oop. Pickford able to deflect it. Sawada just gets it right back and throws up a kisser off the backboard. You know, give Wayzata credit. They've answered the bell here tonight, just when it looks like Maple Grove's getting back into this game. Wayzata able to answer.
Long distance three by Davison. Wow, he was a good 4 feet behind the line. And we're going to get a foul on Benninga as Bishop got in his way, and they get the foul on Benninga.
Well, Timmy Bishop, he's one of those guys that's annoying to play against because he's always there. He's right in your grill. And he's come in and he's done what he's supposed to do, and Benninga got a little frustrated and just pushed him away. Here's the alley-oop pass, and Pickford gets a big layup. No, we were just showing the great alley-oop while we were away. Pickford gets a wide open layup underneath, out of bounds. It's a 3-point basketball game.
Back out top to Slater now. 3 points, just under 6. If you thought Maple Grove was done, they say otherwise here. Right back in it, Sawada. Slater and Davison getting all tangled up. Now Lindbergh. Bishop gets his hand on it and calls a timeout. Wow. There's a guy coming in and throwing his body around, and he doesn't want his career to end tonight.
Well, he's made 2 huge plays. They're getting the steal and then the effort, getting on the ground, calling the timeout, having the wherewithal to do that. And the play before, drawing an offensive foul after a big 3-pointer by Brad Davison. And right now the momentum is clearly back on the Crimson side. Yeah, Wayzata's done 2-3, 2 possessions. They've given up an alley-oop and a 23-footer to Brad Davison. We'll see if they come out, maybe change it back to man-to-man, try to throw Maple Grove's offense out of rhythm. Usually, Jay, we do a game and it's, one team is clearly playing better or executing better. This game's been so much fun because both teams playing offense at a really high level. We've seen a lot of great jump shots made, a lot of great individual moves played, some dunks. It's really been a really well-executed game for both teams offensively.
Great atmosphere in here, too. Said we did a lot of games here a long time ago, and this Osseo Junior High is kind of a fun place for this playoff game. Crimson down 3. The lead was double digits not long ago for Wayzata, though. Davison trying to use a high screen. Now goes behind. He'll stop and fire off the glass too hard, and Benninga grabs it.
Yeah, good defense there. That's a tough bucket. I didn't think Brad ever had his rhythm, never had his feet set. He was forcing that one. Excellent defense.
Benninga, the drive. This time the miss, but tipped in by Slater.
Well, I'll tell you what made that play. Benninga drove hard. Reed Nickel came over to block it, and his man, Austin Slater, able to slide right in with Nickel out of the picture, able to get an easy tip in.
Davison cut off. Pickford wants to dump it inside to Nico. Attacks on the baseline, had it blocked, and then Sawada takes it.
Yeah, the difference that time is Nico brought that ball down low. He never got his extension and able to elevate and finish that high at the rim. And a nice job by Slater playing that without fouling.
And we'll get a foul call on Davison, it looks like. That'll be his 3rd. Team foul number 6, so we'll be in the bonus each way after this. Hutchison coming back in for Nick Schroeder's club, and checking out is Matheson. Here's Benninga, who really lit it up early in this half with 4 quick buckets. Baumgartner's had a good night as well. Sawada, big first half for the Trojans. Lindbergh stops and pops and hits.
What a big
ice water
shot.
in his veins there, huh?
And that's not easy to do. He was sprinting off of a down screen, coming to his right, able to catch it and then finish it.
Offensive foul on Davison. That'll be his 4th. And from my vantage point, a very good call. Slater was standing waiting for him.
Well, that's how you got to defend him. Look, there you can see. I think that was Lindbergh there that caught that, stopped on the dime, able to hit the big-time 3. But I'll tell you what, you got a guy like Brad Davison who can beat really anyone that's guarding him one-on-one off the dribble. But that's how you got to have help. You have to have your second layer defense jump in stand in there and make a tough play, taking the charge. What a big sequence of events that was. A big three for Wayzata, and then a charge on the other end.
Now they get the turnover, though, and Davison will go all the way and lay it up and in.
Well, that play was really made by Bishop again, hounding the basketball. I'll tell you what, he hasn't scored a basket, but he's certainly had his impact and imprint on this game defensively.
See, if it changes the way Davison has to play a little bit, though, with 4 fouls now. Benning putting a shot up no good, and then we get a foul on Nico, I believe. I thought he was possibly fortunate there wasn't a foul on the initial one, but it's another look at that last scramble.
Yeah, you can see Bishop able to get his left hand in there, bat that away to Davison. I like the move there by Brad, just putting his head down, getting right to the rim, knowing that he wasn't going to get fouled and be able to get the layup.
Davison now with 40 points in this game. Slater hits the free throw.
Well, this game could come down to free throws. Both teams you mentioned in the bonus here from here on out, and you know which team's going to be able to take advantage of them and knock free throws down in a tough environment.
Slater steps up big there and nails a pair. He has 13. The lead back to 8 now for Wayzata. Just over 3 to play. Maple Grove's margin for error.
Getting smaller and smaller
the
as
later
that
you
clock,
get into the game. Bishop kicking it back out. Davison. Little crossover and shovels it to Nico. It's out of bounds off of Maple Grove. Too many hands there, and it got knocked away in the pass, and it hit Nico's foot.
Wayzata doing a great job as Davison sees Nico there, doing a great job of closing those passing lanes down, getting their hands in there, making those passing lanes tough, and they're making Brad work. He's having to work hard just to get the ball back, and then of course to get into the lane like that.
Benning out to the hoop, no good. Buddy draws a foul. See if it's Nico, and if so, he'd be done. No, it's not. Looks like Pickford will get it.
Yes, you got 2 main players for Maple Grove, Reed Nico and Brad Davison, both with 4 fouls. And I like what Johnny Benninga did there. He went right at Nico, trying to get the foul on the big fella. And fortunate for Maple Grove, the foul was on Pickford.
Trying to push it back to double figures here, and Benninga good again. Boy, they've been money at the free throw line. They have not missed in the second half. 70-60 Trojans. Davison to Nico. Now Bishop. He's going to take that shot. Not good. Knocked loose. Benninga comes away with it.
Well, I can guarantee you, I mean, Bishop is a capable shooter, but that's a shot that Coach Snetler and Wayzata will live with. Having Tommy Bishop shoot a contested 3 from behind the line.
Coach Snetler calls a timeout here with 2:09 to play. His team leading it 70-60, and their fans are loving it.
Well, this is where Wayzata, having 5 guys that can A, all shoot the basketball, B, all handle the basketball, really comes in handy, because now you're putting Maple Grove in a really tough position. Wayzata, I'm sure, is going to come out, spread the floor, try to take as much time off the clock, force Maple Grove into fouling. And this is where you can seal the deal and seal your chance at a conference champion or region championship by making free throws in the last 2:09 here of the semifinals.
If you're Maple Grove, obviously you don't panic, but at the same time, every possession has to be big right now. You can't afford mistakes anymore.
Well, it's big, and keep in mind too that Davison and Nico both with 4, so you don't want those 2 guys to pick up foul trouble, and they're going to some type of trapping zone defense right here, either trying to get a turnover or trying to at least get Wayzata to play out of characteristic, maybe get a bad pass or something out of it.
Benninga spinning away, kicks it over to Sawada. Baseline, Baumgartner leaves it for Slater, layup good. That was perfect.
Yeah, that's all Gavin Baumgartner. He drove baseline, Nico contested, and Slater just steps right in.
Davison looking for the reverse. Nico trying to save it. He could not. It will be Wayzata basketball, and it's starting to look very much like it'll be the Trojans advancing to the final.
Yeah, beautiful job. Wayzata took enough time off the clock, forced Maple Grove to spread that zone out, able to attack for an easy layup. Beautiful basketball.
I think Maple Grove realized that. Here's Slater going to get another easy layup. Yeah. Maple Grove realized that they weren't going to have enough time to play it the way they were, so they're gambling a little bit now, and it's not paying off.
Yeah, if you got guards that can make great decisions with the ball, it's an easy offense. And there Pickford forces up a tough shot with his left hand, unable to connect.
Underneath to Slater again, and he was fouled. And he will go to the free throw line. I think it'll be number 5 on Nico, or well, we'll see. Yep, looks like Reed Nico is fouled out. Maple Grove, I don't think this was what they were expecting tonight, although they knew Wayzata was a very good ball club.
No, you talked to Coach Schroeder before. He said, listen, this team maybe should have had our number in the first game. So we coming into this game with a lot of respect. They were not looking ahead to the section final game whatsoever. They knew this Wayzata team. And again, on the flip side, Coach Schnettler, and you said it to him before the game, you guys are kind of maybe the most untalked about good team in the metro area. And they really are. And they've gotten better this year. And they play really well as a team. And they got a good mix of guard play along with Austin Slater down low. And they came up big here tonight.
Slater, finally, they miss a couple free throws, but I don't think it's going to matter now. We're under a minute to play. Davison all the way. 42 now for Davison. Quick timeout by Grove, but it's a 12-point game, 53 seconds left.
Yeah, and I expect Coach Schroeder and Maple Grove to get out of that zone defense that they were in. Wayzata seemed to handle that pretty easily here. Try to pick up full court, try to get a trap and either a quick turnover or, if nothing else, a quick foul. You try to extend this game possession by possession, if possible.
So Friday night, Rogers High School the site. You can see that one live on 12 Sports, Channel 12 and 12.tv. Looks like it'll be Wayzata, and we'll see on the other side. Champlin Park seems to have found themselves a little bit after trailing Centennial. Yeah, looks like the Rebels are pulling away from Centennial, so it looks like we will see the Champlin Park stay unbeaten and move into the final, and it looks as though their opponent, maybe to some people's surprise, is going to be Wayzata. Benninga takes the inbound. Baumgartner had it knocked loose, and Rexted will fire up a 3. That's no good. Sawada boards it. Sawada ahead of the pack. Sawada for the layup.
I'll tell you, Maple Grove got exactly what they wanted, a quick trap, a turnover. That could have been a big-time 3. Instead, it turns into an easy layup for Wayzata.
Bishop trying to dump it inside. It's out of bounds. It will be Wayzata basketball. 24 seconds, all that remain in this one. And Benninga quickly fouled by Bishop. So Johnny Benninga will head to the free throw line. He has a dozen points here tonight.
Well, 10 of those have come here in the second half. He was instrumental in really taking this lead from about 4 or 5 points to double figures there for a couple minute stretch. He attacked the basket, scored 3 or 4 times in a row. And I think that kind of jump-started this Wayzata offense, because they haven't shot the ball as well from the perimeter as they did in the first half, but I thought they attacked the basket a little bit more. Austin Slater had a big second half. You know, and I think Maple Grove's going to look at this saying, you know, we love Brad Davison having a monster game. We just needed someone else to come with him and someone else to step up. You know, whether that's Tywan Pickford, whether that's Reed Nickel, whether that's Austin Matheson or Jack Hutchison, someone has to step up and have a big game.
Davis in the miss, gets it back, won't go. And rebound grabbed, and the Trojans are going to be able to run it out here, and they are going to win it. Wayzata fans pumped up, 77-62 Trojans, and they will move into the section final.
Well, fun game to call, Jay, fun game to watch. And I thought Wayzata played about as well as you could on the road in a hostile environment against a very good team, the third-ranked team in the state of Minnesota. And it sets up quite a matchup Friday night live, as you mentioned here on Channel 12. Champlin Park, undefeated, #1 seed, taking on the 3 seed, Wayzata Trojans. I think that's going to be a heck of a matchup just with the way Wayzata can handle the ball. They handle pressure well. They got guards that can really stretch the defense out. I think that's going to be a heck of a ball game. If Wayzata plays as well as they did tonight, they're going to have a shot against the #1 team in the state of Minnesota.
77-62 our final. We'll be back to wrap things up here from Osseo Junior High in just a moment.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back here to Osseo Junior High. A huge win for the Wayzata Trojans here tonight as they knock out the #2 seed Maple Grove in the semifinals in the Section 5 tournament. One of the biggest Wayzata basketball wins in quite a few years actually here. And we're joined by a couple of guys that helped make it happen. Johnny Benninga, how much fun was tonight to come out here and get it done?
It was awesome. I mean, after the game we had Coach dancing, and we were looking forward to this moment. We knew that we could do it, and we did it on the court, and it was a blast.
I know you guys have played them during the season, built a lead, and they came back on you. What was different this time around that enabled you to keep the lead?
I think we trusted in our teammates more, and we knew that we could do it because we came over here last time, like you said, and we couldn't get it done. And this time we believed in ourselves, and it worked out for us.
They had one guy score most of their points tonight where you guys had a lot more balance. Do you think that helped a lot too?
Yeah, I think that did, because we could get different guys going at different times, and that helps. You don't have to rely on one guy, and everyone contributed to this win, and that really helped us.
Champlin Park's the opponent Friday night. They've had a great season, but what do you know about that team? What will it take for Wayzata to come out on top?
I know they're a very good team, and it's going to be a tough one for us, but we're going to prepare and try our best against them.
All right, congratulations on this win, and have fun Friday.
Thank you.
And Jack Sawadu had a real hot hand in the first half. You were almost matching Brad Davison for their team. How much fun was it to come out and just shoot so well, play so well in that first half?
It was great because we really wanted to come out and get the win against Maple Grove. And when I started feeling it in the first half, I knew I should just keep shooting it, because if I'm feeling it and making shots, it'll help the other teammates get open, which it did in the second half.
Yeah, certain parts of the game, certain guys really stepped up. First half it was you, second half it was Johnny and Austin Slater, and Lindbergh had some big hoops too.
Yeah, it was great. We have so much balance on our team that anybody can go off at any time. So the opponents would never really know which guy's going to be the guy taking the shot.
No seniors on your team, but you guys played with a lot of poise in a very difficult atmosphere here tonight. Did you like the way the guys responded even when they made a little run?
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Shout out to the Trojan troops. They really brought it. And with only juniors, no seniors, it really forces all of us juniors to step up and take leadership roles and just pick each other up when we're down and just get the win.
All right, good luck on Friday night against Champlin Park.
Thank you.
Jack Sawada, Johnny Benninga, Wayzata Trojans win a big one here, as we said, in the Section 5 semis, 77-62 over Maple Grove. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's game. For Ryan Iverson and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Osseo Junior High.